Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Property and Investor Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Landfear. You will have noticed these podcasts are a bit different. These are the mini series of the Inner Circle All Stars. So these are the fabulous human beings that I've had the pleasure of working with this year. And I've got another fabulous human being for you, and it is David. David, how are you doing? Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, very well, thank you, Paul.
Thank you for coming on. I notice we're wearing matching shirts. I feel honored that we're now we're like in uniform together. That's fantastic.
I did think about that when I first when I put this on ready for the podcast.
It's cool. It's good. I like it. More co-branding. Um, so tell people a little bit about your property business.
Yeah, so I'm a business owner and a property investor. I've been working in the property space for I don't know, the best part of 10 years now, and I've done a little bit of everything. So, 2015, I just sold my veterinary business to a national company. I was looking around for something else to do.
Hmm.
um, Something that would be able to support my lifestyle and to take a little bit less time than running a full-time business. And at that time, property was just an obvious next step. So in the last 10 years, I've done commercial to residential conversions, option purchase agreements and sale with planning permission plan and gain. Um, I'm a commercial landlord of a few commercial properties. Um, I've developed a couple of multi-unit freehold blocks. I've got student HMOs, and most recently, last year we opened a very nice apartment hotel, luxury apartment hotel in Derbyshire, uh,
Yeah.
which is going very nicely.
Excellent. So as you say, you have done a lot and a lot of different things as well. Um, so if we think back to like the beginning of the year when we first kind of got to know each other, what were the kind of things that what was that like? What were you wrestling with? What were some of the challenges that you were dealing with? What were the few headaches that maybe you had at that time?
Um, I'm an ideas man, and ideas come very, very easily to me. And execution, look, ideas are wonderful, but without a structure to put them in, they just become pressure. So I very easily become overwhelmed because I have more ideas that come into my head than I could possibly work through. So I mean, I sat down at a conference and I saw you talking,
Mhm.
and I heard you talk about some of the things you'd managed with dyslexia and time management and kind of just enjoying the process and kind of setting out a really structured way of working through things.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it just seemed to make sense to me. I just felt like I needed some of that energy in my life. And so I think that was in October. So I just put in the diary the kind of start of year one page business plan you do. And
Mhm.
on the 1st of January, I just set a reminder came up, and I just made sure I'd wake up at 6 o'clock, or was it 6 or 7 o'clock, or whatever time you do it for everyone, AM. And we all just started from there, really. Um, I mean, as well as that, it can be lonely being a property investor,
Mhm.
an entrepreneur, and there's a lot of time just sat in an office on your own. So
Mhm.
every year I try to do some form of mentorship or being a member of a group. And I mean, you are really very good at gathering together kind of quite different people, but
Mhm.
that really complement people, kind of each other really well. Um, so kind of just a bit of friendship and almost having colleagues in a, because I mean, I work on my own.
Mhm.
It's been really nice this year. And the introduction of new ideas that come with all those new people as well
Mhm.
is really wonderful. Um,
You're definitely right. I mean, that's been my experience of entrepreneurship as well, is that I had this period of time of, trying to do it all on my own. And actually, I think that isn't the way we're meant to do it. I think we are community creatures. I think we learn from each other. And as you say, like the group is great fun for me going through the process of kind of building the group and how different people are and seeing emerge the different values they bring and the different contributions they can make because we're all so different, but it's still, it moves us all kind of forward together. I mean, I love it. I love that as part of it. Um, so in what way has it helped you and how are things looking for you now?
So, I mean, I'm in a very different position than I was this time last year. I think there's been no remarkable breakthrough moments through the year.
Mhm.
But there has been steady progress all the way through. So just having the structure um, where we have monthly meetups and there's a focus to that month, something to think about that month has been really helpful, which has just meant that um, there's just been a steady transition through the year. There's been, I've got um, a much greater understanding of the financial position of the business. I think I was guilty last year of understanding at a very cursory level what the finances of the business were in terms of I could look at the bank account and I knew we were kind of making money every month, but I had a suspicion that some properties perhaps weren't performing as well as others. And, if somebody didn't pay rent for a month or 2 months, it maybe wouldn't get noticed. So I mean, I've put a lot of things into place about financial management. I've got profit and losses every month coming in for every single property. Um, I'm getting much better at delegation. I think we've had many have had quite a few sessions talking about kind of delegation. So I've now got a personal assistant in place who has almost entirely taken the management of the apartment hotels and all the properties and kind of incoming queries off my plate, um,
Mhm.
which was really needed. I think a lot of people go into the property space thinking it's going to be completely passive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a fallacy. I think there's always something coming in. There's always kind of tenant queries and um, or I don't know, repairs. There's always something to be dealt with, or kind of mortgages to be reapplied to, and tax returns, and kind of all the compliance bits you've got to do as well. So I think, in fact, I think that's maybe the biggest change this year. What is just getting personal assistant who's taken everything off my plate, and I'm now in a position that I feel like I've got very little day-to-day running of the business and the property portfolio investments coming in,
Mhm.
and I can now start to think about other things and probably start planning better for next year and really what I want to be doing and spending my time on.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds awesome. I mean, I think, that clarity over the finances of the business is absolutely crucial. I think it's underrated as well. I think it's also not often spoken about. Um, like how many businesses operate just off their bank balance. I think it's probably quite a lot. But when you get that clarity, it's a bit of a game changer, I think, as well. And it's been great that you've kind of begun to recruit people in. I mean, there is this whole argument to be had over, is anything effectively passive? I mean, I suppose. If you write a Christmas number one, maybe, but then you still have to write Christmas number one. You still have to file a tax return. You still have to. So is anything really passive? But as much as income does flow from assets, you do need a team to manage them, and it's that team that makes the difference for them being often profitable or not. So and kudos to you for putting in the work because it's that kind of work which is very difficult to do on your own as well. Particularly if it's not your thing. Some people are born systemizers, aren't they? And you're more born creator kind of adventurer, explorer, that's, more you going out into the world, isn't it? Which is why you've been able to achieve so much and why you've done so much. So, um, what does the future look like? Take us from like the here and now through to what the future might look like.
I'm really not sure if I'm honest, Paul. I think
Okay.
so. I've been spending the last week um, considering next year and so I've just been putting a framework in place to kind of build off the foundation of this year.
Hmm.
Um, and I've got a one-page business plan sorted for next year, but
Whoa, 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 you've got the business plan done ahead of my business planning session. What is this? What is
I will
this?
attend the business planning session as well. I'll say I've got a first draft,
Good on you.
but there's nothing specific in there in terms of, I am going to do this as a business venture. So I think next year is much more likely to be a self-reflective
Hmm.
period of time. Um, I have got enough to sustain my lifestyle, and it's sometimes difficult to stop.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, the aim at the start of really the purpose of the property portfolio wasn't to keep me busy. It was
Hmm.
to buy me time, is to allow me flexibility and allow time with family, really. Um, so I really don't know what I'm going to be doing next year, but I'm going to be doing a lot of reflection, really making sure that I make a sensible decision of what that thing is and not just doing it for the sake of it. Um,
And that makes complete sense. I mean, you're from a farming background, so you'll be familiar with the concept of having a fallow year, leaving a field leaving a field to allow nature to work its magic to restore the quality of the soil. And, you know, great institutions like Glastonbury Festival, they quite famously have a fallow year where they take a year out, just have a period of reflection rather than being on the constant treadmill that I think modern culture encourages us to do. So, I mean, I would definitely endorse the fallow year. I think it's a good idea. There's one thing I wish we'd done more of in the growth cycle was to take every couple of years off from growth and allow the business to consolidate. But, there was a period of time where we were just obsessed by growth. Um, and I would do that differently, I think.
I mean, do I think it will be? I don't think it will take a year. I
Mhm.
suspect it might by the end of the first couple of months. I will have had enough of a think about that and
Yeah.
reflect and kind of put the ducks in order and something
Yeah.
to get rolling. I mean, there's two questions that I'm particularly interested in exploring at the moment,
Okay.
um, which is I'm interested in just sitting down for a period of time and writing my own obituary, which sounds a bit morbid,
No, no, no. I get that.
but to really think about what do I want to be spending my life doing, and what would I want people to remember me for
Hmm.
in hopefully another um, I don't know, 50 or 60 years.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that might uncover something interesting, something that is kind of hidden to me at the moment, just 'cause I've been too busy.
Yeah.
And second question is, what would I really be doing if I couldn't fail at it? So
Hmm.
if I kind of just let go of all the anxiety of the possibility of failure, and what would I really just have a punt at doing?
Hmm.
And I'm not really sure what that would be. I think it probably wouldn't be doing property.
Hmm.
It'd probably be something much more adventurous. I took a bit of inspiration on this year. Um, me and my family, we moved out of our house for 6 weeks, went traveling, and we had a family move in. And I had knew nothing about them whatsoever when they moved in.
Hmm.
So we had dinner with them. Didn't really have much time to discuss. Me and Jen and the kids just left on a flight. And when he came back, I found out that he was a fairly well-known movie director.
Hmm.
So I spent a bit of time just having a discussion with him about how he really started. And I don't know, I suppose it just opened my eyes a little bit that there are a lot more possibilities out there than what I've had my eyes open to. And it'll be interesting to see if at nearly at 40 years old, if I could have a complete career shift, or can I find something that really fires me up that I want to be doing.
Well, I look forward to seeing how this unfolds. And I think there are a few things on that. So I think in life often there's a choice of two paths, which is it refinement or is it reinvention? And looking at a year, am I just going to tinker around the edges or do I need a complete reinvention? And as you know, I did the reinvention from being a lawyer to all the other stuff I've done. Um, the question about what would people writing your own eulogy? I mean that there is a precedent for that, which is Stephen Covey's Seven Habits. That's a specific exercise he recommends in that, and he introduces it in that in the chapter really elegantly. He says, "Imagine you're standing in the funeral and you're listening to this really beautiful eulogy, and all of these different people, this kaleidoscope of people are talking about this person, and then suddenly you realize the person is you." And it sort of sends like a chill down your spine. So I really think that is a powerful exercise to do. I also think it's a very powerful exercise to ask that question, what would I do if I couldn't fail? Um, there's a really strong argument to say, and I don't want to get like too esoteric, but that no one can ever really fail because there's always an outcome, and the outcome is often to learn something new. And sometimes, and this sounds a bit brutal, but it's not intended to be brutal, maybe it's a good thing, to like if you look at nature, you know, forest fires clear the debris, don't they? And they allow the stronger roots and trees to form better and get the oxygen and light that they need and flourish. So maybe reinvention, maybe this feeling of being willing to fail is an important one. Um, I mean, this is sort of interesting, isn't it? That this has been my experience in our one-to-ones, which I've really enjoyed this year, is that they've been uh, very thoughtful, and you've given me as much to think about as maybe I've given you as much to think about. Um, in terms of inner circle, so if somebody is thinking about inner circle, and I think we're all familiar with just how bombarded or even overwhelmed everybody is with everything that's going on and all the information they've got. Um, if somebody was thinking about joining Inner Circle, what would you say to them about that?
I mean, it's been very productive for me. It's been a really valuable experience. Um, I mean, I can't make a decision for somebody. I don't know what their experience is and what their needs are.
Mhm.
But what I can say is that um, it's a there's a lot of people in the property industry, in the property education industry, that are perhaps selling stuff that they haven't done before or haven't really tested. Um, and I and I'm quite critical of some people who work in that space that that do that. That essentially that just kind of sell stuff that I don't think works very well.
Mhm.
Um, that's not what this is. I think it's much more of a mentorship. I know you don't like to use the word mentorship. What word do you use for it?
I use consultant,
Consultant.
a consultancy, but that's only because to echo your kind of sentiments, because I feel a little bit like the word mentor has been diminished because there's such poor quality out there, and there's like, let's be honest, like charlatans and crooks everywhere. So I've fallen out of love with the word mentor. So the
Mhm.
one that I've landed on is consultancy, and it's also from the perspective of, if I know the answer, I'm going to tell you. If I know the person that you need to speak to, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to do this mysterious thing of like, you figure it out for yourself. It's like, oh no, the person who does that is this person. This is their telephone number. I've told you, I've told them you're calling. I've told them you're a good guy, and I'll like try and make it come together. And I feel that's more perhaps a consultancy thing than it is a mentoring thing.
Yeah, so I think it's a very reasonably priced consultancy that can be tailored to whatever you want to be doing in the property space. I think you're incredibly experienced. Um, you've done the stuff that you're talking about, and you've got the history of doing that and doing it well. Um, so I would recommend doing it and kind of trusting in Paul and the process.
Mm. Very good. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And as I say, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you this year. I've enjoyed every aspect of it. I've enjoyed our deeply thoughtful one-to-ones and everything, and all the support that you've given the gang as well. You've been a really pivotal figure in all of it. Um, if the good people listening or watching this podcast are interested, in learning a bit more about you, where's the best place we could send them?
Well, if you're interested in having a chat with me, I'd be happy to speak to you, and you can email me at david@birchwell.com.
Perfect. There you have it. David, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for this year, but also thanks for doing this as well. Very, very grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's been a wonderful year. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, lovely. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for listening to the podcast. Connect with David if you wish. Keep well, speak soon, and look after yourselves. Take care. Bye bye.